As you saw from the intro, I'm finally happy to announce that I'm changing the name of the YouTube channel from Meditay to Taim Talks Med. This might surprise many people, especially those who've been following me for quite a while, and some might think the new name is cheesy, which is okay, because it is. But let me go through a bit about myself first, and why I chose to call the channel Meditay to begin with, and why I'm changing the name to Taim Talks Med. And I'll also go through a little bit about where the channel is going from here, for those who's interested. So, as you've probably figured by now, my name is Taim. I am not a native English speaker. English is my third language. That is why you probably heard me mispronounce many medical terms in some videos. I am Palestinian Syrian by origin, but I was born and raised in Norway. After high school, I studied biomedical science at a university college in Oslo because I found the laboratory pretty interesting. When I was done, I decided to study medicine with a couple of friends I studied with, since we were interested in this field, and so that is why I started studying medicine back in 2017. Bear in mind, I am a visual learner, so when I started studying medicine, I did struggle to learn because most of our subjects had long texts we needed to cram for frequent tests throughout the semester. But when it came to anatomy, I struggled even more, and bear in mind this was in first semester. So I had a tough time learning anatomy. So what I did was that I started making small presentations and recorded myself speaking about each topic. These were very poorly animated videos that I recorded. I just put something together so that I could have something I could listen to whenever I wanted to study the topic that I had prepared. I initially wanted these videos to be easily accessible, as I sometimes like to listen to my own presentations in the bus on my way to school, for example. And that is why I started uploading them to YouTube. So I created a channel, called it the first thing that came into my mind. The videos are related to medicine, and my gamer tag when I was younger was Treatay. I smashed them together and it became Meditay. Of course, at first, these videos didn't get any views. I just kept going as I had fun making them, and I learned as well. But after a couple of months, I noticed that people started commenting on how helpful these simple animated videos were to them. So I continued. I kept making anatomy videos next to my university studies because it helped students a lot to visualize, and at the same time, it helped me to relearn anatomy and have some fun in my spare time. Of course, studying long text did become easier throughout my study years, as the brain kinda adapts to the amount. Now the name Meditay worked for a while. It's simple and it became a known name to many people out there. It was nice. But then there was a problem with the name, and the major one was that it was taken. A few companies were using the name already, and on top of that, it didn't really have any meaning behind it. The name didn't reflect the content of the channel. So after consulting with my close friends, I landed on the name Taim Talks Med. For so long, I was afraid to stand out and share my actual name to the world. I honestly was. I was really afraid to be known as Taim the YouTuber among the people around me, as I was afraid of failure. I thought that if people knew it was me, I would be really afraid of uploading another poorly executed video to the channel. As I got older though, I'm now in 10th semester as of making this video, I learned that you really just have to do what makes you happy. Don't let the expectations and opinions of other people affect your decisions. And not to mention, all of you on YouTube have been super supportive. I read every comment under all the videos, I try to answer and at least react to each one whenever I can. But I do read them, and it makes me smile, and I'm really grateful to you all. I am therefore really happy to announce this change. Taim Talks Med is a direct and friendly and approachable channel name that gets to the core of what I literally do, talk about medical concepts. And that brings me to the next segment of this video. Where is the channel going from here? Throughout my time here on YouTube, I've tried to animate and simplify many topics, primarily in anatomy, since that's what I initially started with. But I've also covered topics like immunology, and I've tried to incorporate a little bit of histology into the anatomy videos as well, since it's interesting. I will finish anatomy by going through the peripheral nervous system and the cranial nerves, and when these two topics have been covered, I will say myself done with anatomy, as all the most important topics have been covered. After that, I've decided to start with internal medicine. Internal medicine is a vast field. It includes gastroenterology, cardiology, endocrinology, nephrology, and so on. So my initial plan is to start with one system, let's say gastroenterology, then go through the most common diseases within this system, and then once that's done, I will go through the most common diseases of another system, and so on. So for each common disease, I plan to go through their clinical symptoms, pathogenesis and etiology, their diagnostic and treatment approach, and everything that's important to know regarding each disease. And of course, I'll make sure to animate it, make everything easily understood, and help you remember things you can take to clinics when seeing patients. And as a side note, I might add a few podcast episodes talking about personal experiences at work. So that was everything I had to say in this video. I appreciate every one of you for all the support you've shown the channel, and I'll really look forward to continuing to grow this channel and seeing where it goes. And with that being said, see you next time.